Welcome back to a brand new season of Hypervision podcasting. I am your co-host, Tyler,
That's that's good. That's good.
along with Noah and the main man in charge, Baby. Take it away.
Yeah, I always forget that everyone else decides that I am a CEO of this thing.
Mhm.
Um, anyway, yeah, Tyler's not actually a co-host. If you saw those posts, that was April Fool's. Even though he's announcing that he is, you should still listen to their podcast. No introduction, but
It's still April 1st where we are.
What?
nope. Yeah, we're back. Episode 51. We finally have the episode that we promised for like the last month. We have Natalie on, our first female guest.
Whoa,
Hello.
look at us.
um,
We're call us diverse. Let's go.
because we brought on a white woman. Diverse. Oh man.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No.
Natalie, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm just, we just got back from looking at a couple houses, so just trying to sort through all of that, but ready to find a place, so.
Good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm happy for you guys, man. That's cool.
Well, I'll be happy once we find a house, so.
Yeah, that's true.
I just keep saying, like, it'll happen at the right time, like, we'll know, so.
Yep.
It is what it is.
For our normal things, first, I want to say shout out Josiah. That's it. All right. No, unless you got anything else.
No, I don't, man. No, I'm good.
Cool. So we've talked about the topic a couple of times on the podcast here. It was started with Noah, I think, saying, I don't know what episode, but he said he wanted to get back into his faith. So I think we're going to dive into that a little bit. We'll go all around a little bit, jump in different spots. But
Jump
I
around.
think jump around. I think I'll start with one, Noah, maybe go back into what that kind of means for you of getting back into your faith and why at this point in your life it's something that you want to get into.
Yeah. I just think for me, really, it's something that was close to me whenever I was younger. Obviously, growing up, you go to church, all that good stuff. It kind of goes with you. But I think as I got into high school and through college, I kind of, I guess you could say, lost my way. And I just think as of more recently, I've kind of gotten back into it. Every time I go back down home, I go to church. I go to church with Dad. They still have a church that they go to, and just get back into getting back into the Word. I just think I've done that recently. Praying here and there. It's just an interesting topic to talk about. I haven't really talked about it with anyone, so I've just kind of been going about it my own way. So, but yeah, just
What church
kind
do
of
you go
getting.
to?
Dad goes to one. I don't know. It's back down home. I only really go whenever I'm back down
Like
there.
what?
It's down here.
What style of, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Like
is it like a
denomination?
Catholic church or Christian? Yeah.
No, yeah, it's I forget what it is. It's not Nazarene. I think it's just I forget. I don't even know what it's called. I forget what it's called.
Well, that's somewhere where you can start.
Yeah, but it's good. It's a small congregation, so it's nice.
Mm-hmm.
And the pastor the pastor knows you, which is good. So yeah, but yeah, just diving in more recently. Just trying to get back into it.
I get that. I feel like growing up for me, I came from like a Catholic home, so obviously God was in the main like center of our everything we did. But growing up, I switched schools and I went to a public school and I left a Catholic school, so like that was a huge culture shock for me. And I felt like I started to step away from it in high school, like not really like belief wise, but more so just like actually taking the time to spend with God and making it purposeful, or like putting
Yep.
him in the center of my life. And now I feel like since I'm an adult on my own, I've had to, and and getting married, I've had to rethink about like what I want in my life and what's important to me, and choose to follow like the path towards God on my own, not just like being pushed by my parents and pursued that way.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, I totally understand that. That's kind of where I'm at too. You know, it, parents didn't push me to do anything, so I'm kind of
Mm-hmm.
doing it on my own. But obviously, like it's um, still Christianity, so still get back into the word stuff. So yeah, it's been good. It's it's just I call it a slow grind. So
I mean,
back
I
into
feel
it
like
little by little.
I feel like God's gonna meet you where you're at. So
Yeah.
the more you pursue it, the closer your relationship's gonna be.
Yeah.
But it's always gonna be there. So
It's good.
what about you, Drew?
Well, one, I can't stop blinking. There's something in my eye, and I seriously can't get it out.
Tyler has the mouse on their computer actually right at your eye, so that's
Alright.
actually kind of funny.
I'm gonna do that too. There we go. Block it off so I can't see it. Yeah, I'd say like for upbringing and everything, kind of just like the typical stuff. You go to church your whole life. And then I think it was 8th grade was when I switched schools, but I actually went to a Christian school, so it was kind of the opposite of what you had, I think.
Mm.
But I think at that point, like once you get out of high school and all that, and move away to college and everything, I think it almost makes you realize you might take a lot of that for granted, because you just like assume, yeah, you're doing the right things. You go to church every weekend, and like you have Bible classes in school,
Mm-hmm.
so like you're studying things, you're learning things. That was actually where I learned about Freemasonry, and I'll leave that at that. Uh, but like, yeah, I think there was a certain point where I was just kind of going through motions and not really practicing for my own self, but just
Mm-hmm.
because like it's to get a grade, and it's just that like it's what I've always done. Um, so I talked to someone actually about this recently, about like when I kind of like started to make my faith my own thing, and I think like realistically the answer would be within the last like 5-6 months, because it was always just kind of like a family thing, and then it was
Mm-hmm.
just like outside of that, when I was in school and like in college and everything, religion was more of like a nice rule book to have in my life, and like the things that it teaches are kind of just like, yeah, that's a good way to live your life. I still enjoy like that being at the core of how I act and how I believe and I like do things. But
Mm-hmm.
I'd say now I've been trying to like, explore a bit more into like what a relationship with God actually means, and what believing and all of that actually like is, besides what just like, yeah, that's just like what you believe because like you got to pick something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just I think I'm more in a stage of actually trying to make my faith my own thing.
Yeah. I like that. I think I've always wanted to be close with God and pursue that, and it's always been a thing in my life, but it didn't become super pertinent or serious to me until we started talking about like marriage and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, how do we want to raise our kids? Who do we want to be in our lives? And like, what's going to be the focus of our family? And so that's when I was like, all right, I need to figure out what I want, where my relationship it is, and put myself in the best place that I can be, like to be the best person I can be. And that meant putting God at the center of it. So
Because I know like I lived with Tyler for 3 years, and the other year I was within 20 feet of him, so like obviously we spent a lot of time together, and like in college like you're like
mm-hmm.
you like are literally living together for most of the year, so obviously like we talked all the time, we knew like
Mm-hmm.
everything about each other practically. um so like, but I don't think me and Tyler ever discussed religion one time. besides our like morals and ethics class, if you count that, it wasn't even that. It was the most like surface level class I think I have ever taken that was called morals and ethics.
Mhm.
And I think that part of that just comes down to I don't ever want to like step on someone's like feet on anything. Like I'm very respectful of like if someone's a different religion, that I don't try to like, because I never
Push
want to
it.
come off too preachy, yeah, or like push on them and then like
Yeah.
turn them away from something. Because I know in somewhere in the Bible it says something along the lines of, you know, like getting people to come to Christ and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And I understand that that's like a big thing that people are called to in Christianity, and like, you know, some people do it more than others, and you know, some people make it their whole life goal to do that. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't think I ever really go out of my way, or I have gone out of my way that with like someone that wasn't religious or didn't talk about it to like actually.
Get them
And
to
I don't know if
yeah.
part of that was down to the fact that I still hadn't made religion my own thing, so I was like, how am I going to do that for someone else if I don't know how to do it for me? But
Yeah.
are you taking a picture of me, Tyler?
I wouldn't put it past him. No, but I get that. I feel like it can be a touchy subject. It's hard, and a lot of people get frustrated or upset, and
Mhm.
it's definitely a hard conversation to have with some people. And so you have to almost, be careful on like how you approach it.
Yeah.
So I get that.
I mean, yeah, religion's a very touchy thing just with a lot of people. Yeah.
Natalie would probably say it was hard to talk to me about it early.
Absolutely, because he did not grow up with that a
I probably went
background
to
like
church
us.
3 times in my life before like
Yeah.
college and everything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, until he actually started to pursue it for himself, it was a hard conversation for us to have. But here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. You made it.
I think it's a spiritual journey with yourself, and then I think once you get to that point, then maybe like then you start spreading it. But I've heard that said, Drew, and it's like yes, I agree, but I'm also like on the subject where it's like find it for yourself, and then if you want to spread it. I don't know. I guess that's a little bit, but
Yeah,
you
I
gotta find
think
you gotta find it with yourself first. Is what I'm trying
a
to say.
big thing in my church is like they say making heaven full, which goes along the same lines. But I think setting that example and being that example for people, and then causes them to kind of think about it a little bit more. And maybe then when they start asking questions, that's how you can kind of incorporate it too. But I mean, growing up, I never really studied the Bible, and that's something I'm trying to learn now. Is like how, like you can read the Bible, but then actually studying it is like two completely different things. And so, like, I feel like I want to become more educated on like verses in the Bible and the storylines, and making sure that like when I present things to people, I know exactly what I'm talking about, and I'm not like it's not just coming from my brain; it's coming from the Bible, because that's the rule book of it all. So
Yeah. I think that was one thing like that I meant like when I was like taking stuff for granted in high school is now like, you know, I took Bible verse quizzes every week in middle school, and like you take them in most of your classes in high school still. And that's like 5 years of taking Bible quizzes and everything. And I don't think I could even tell you what the I don't know if it's still in my bio on Instagram, but whatever verse I had there, I could not tell you the words in it. But like I had to take quizzes on that weekly, and like I parts of the stories in the Bible, I'm just like, that happened? Sure, yeah, I believe you. Okay, but yeah, I don't think yeah, I don't the like with the reading the Bible thing, like every once in a while, like throughout college, I would like our church would like have these papers where it's like read the Bible in a year plan. And like I'd start it because I'd be like, yeah, I want to actually try to do that now and like just kind of, you know, do this for myself. And I think it would always come down to the fact that like one, I didn't have a huge inclination to want to read. And then just like, you know, I know the story of the Bible. And I think that was what it was coming down to, is that like I'd rather just read certain sections that like I think apply to me better. And I'm
Yeah.
sure throughout reading the entire Bible that would happen, but I just didn't it was a little daunting to read the entire thing, and it just felt more of
Yeah.
like a chore.
I
So
feel like it's
I
hard
think, you know,
start to finish as well to read it.
yeah,
Like, I don't know if starting in the beginning of the Bible is the best to, like, if you're a new person who's never like learned anything at all, start from the beginning. Maybe start
yeah,
like more where Jesus's heart is than like how it all became.
yeah. Because I mean, yeah, you grew up around the church your whole life, and you got to reread Genesis for the 37th time. It's just
Yeah.
you lose interest. Then you go into like Numbers, which is
Mm-hmm.
just numbers. But
I agree.
I struggle with the like so as I'm reading, as I have been reading, like I almost want to like talk to someone about it because like I think what I struggle with is the interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
Not so like I understand what's going on, but like how should we interpret this? Like, and if I interpret it a different way, like is that wrong? I think that's kind of what I struggle with as I'm going through it. I don't know. I don't know like how to fix that. Like how should we be interpreting it? Like because I feel like you can interpret it really however you want, and it's kind of you kind of get multiple viewpoints off of one topic. So I don't know. That's something that I struggle with personally.
Yeah. I think having like friends who are also very knowledgeable on the Bible, I'm very fortunate about that, that I have two specifically really good friends that have studied the Bible and are very involved in like the church and basically um, are the people I turn to with these kind of questions. And so, like, in a sense of having, like, when you do find a church that you like and you start going to it, maybe trying to join if they have like a small group and having people that are your age and going through situations like you and to kind of like bounce those thoughts off of.
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's that dad sneeze coming through. Um, I think having like small groups has definitely been like when I was like I felt like not just going through the motions the most was when I was in small groups, like all through high
Mm-hmm.
school and in middle school. And then we had one. It was with Zach, Ludatron, and like a couple other guys that like are around our age from like around here. And that was like actually that was after high school, so like or after college. Where we'd meet like once or twice a month and just kind of talk because we didn't want it to be just like we'll meet for like an hour on a Thursday and then read the Bible to each other because like we knew that would die right away. So we kept it going for like half a year, it felt like, or something like that. And then some of the guys went back to school, and Zach got busy with busy season, and then I kind of just stopped going for like pushing for it or whatever. Um, but it's definitely like a good like just to have that around you, like you have a
Mm-hmm.
community around you that is at least has a background or a belief in the same thing or like that kind of foundation. And whether or not like they're all knowledgeable, but uh, you know, you're helping each other out. It's always fun. We had a book
Mm-hmm.
we were reading, so like it was always good to have that, I think. Um, and I guess probably something I should look at starting up again. Because I know Zach and Andrew have been talking a couple of times, and they've been trying to like do more devotion things. Um, and I think now with like me trying to be more practical in my own life and how I actually am within myself, because I thought like no, when you said like um, you know, get it for yourself first, then you can help other people with it. I'm talking about like faith and everything is pretty much summed up our like 6 episode stint of like focusing on yourself so
Yeah.
you can make yourself better and then help other people. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you keep, neglecting yourself, neglecting your own faith, it's never going to, go that well for helping out other people. So I think that just kind of like just focusing on me, getting a group together and helping each other grow, I think is just really something you need.
Yeah. I feel like when I surround myself with um, Christ-like people, and then like the way, like trying to live my life in that way, I find my relationship with God so much stronger. Like I did at the beginning of the year, my church does the 21 days of prayer and fast, and they also do it like with the Bible app. And so my friends were doing it, and so I joined in a little bit later because I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it or not. And so I was fasting, which made it really hard, which I found myself praying more. Like anytime I like hit a hard day. And then I was only listening to Christian music. I wasn't like using social media, and I was trying to really focus on that. And I feel like my relationship with God grew immensely just within those couple of weeks. So I think it's all like how you're living your life and surrounding, like who you're surrounding it with.
Yeah. I don't know if I could do fasting.
It's not easy. I mean, I didn't do like a full fast. I did, I think it was called the Daniel fast. So it's more so you're not eating like meat and carbs, and like you're pretty much fruits and veggies. So it was hard.
Yeah, no, it sounds like it
Especially
is.
with Tyler being able to eat whatever he wanted to eat.
Yeah.
Which that's what he does all the time. It's mostly junk food for him, and I'm like the healthy bug. So
Tyler, how many Reese's eggs have you eaten over the last week?
It's rappers beside us. That's crazy.
I actually am the weak one when it comes to Reese Cup eggs. So I texted him, or no, what did I call you?
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, since I work and I need to sleep, can you, when you get off work, run to the grocery store and get me a bunch of eggs off clearance? And he brought home like 6 bags. And I shoved them all in the freezer. And then we went to the grocery store the next day, and I was like, I need more. And so I bought like 4 more bags. So hopefully that'll last me the year.
I've probably only eaten like 10.
Bags?
How many are in a bag, man?
Probably like 10 in a bag, honestly.
Dude, Tyler,
They
I've
really
seen
teach
you.
you nowadays.
Yeah, Tyler. Easter, when we lived there,
I dieseled through that stuff.
you did. You had a whole trash can full of candy.
And I kept them in my refrigerator door in my room.
Oh my gosh. I feel like it's easy to do though when you're gaming, to just sit there and snack.
I like to sit there and snack and hammer Mountain Dews.
See, we're 2 different people. Oh man.
I did a fast once when I was in high school. My buddy, it was funny. My buddy actually invited me to his church, and we did it. And you stayed in the church, and it was you literally camped out. This thing was it 48 hours? Yeah, 2 days. Yeah, and dude, it was a struggle. It was so bad. Like, I was fine. I was fine the first day, and then like the next morning, I woke up and I was like, oh, this is. I was like lightheaded. It was really bad. It was not good. I haven't done one since, so.
It really does make you appreciate a lot.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. So.
Tyler fasts every day though. He'll fast till like 2 o'clock.
I do about 12-hour intermittent fasts.
Because he doesn't.
And then you go ham.
Yeah. Apparently that's the way to do it because he's skinny. So.
1 mile run, get a Big Mac, run back.
Oh
drink
yeah,
a
I
Mountain
heard about
Dew.
that. I did hear about that. I would probably throw up. That sounds miserable.
It's the sign of a true athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. We were running. I made him run with me the other day, and we ran like 2 miles. And I was like, "Watch you lose like 15 pounds from running 2 miles in one day."
Lost 8.
Shut up.
Gosh,
It's good.
No, you got anything more?
I'm trying to think here.
Do you
What's
have
your-
a Bible?
I do. But the one that I have is like, here. We'll do it live.
Do the live.
It's
Show us your Bible.
Reveal. Bible reveal.
It's funny, Drew. You're gonna make fun of me because it's this. It's the. So it's it's a King James version, and
Ooh, old school.
yeah, so that's why I don't
Maybe
really
that's
use
why
it.
you have trouble interpreting things.
No, so listen. So I don't really use this. I use the actual app, and then I
Okay.
have it to the. I think it's called like New Living Testament, and that's
Yep.
like I
Okay.
that makes it a lot easier. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's what I was gonna
that's what I
suggest. That's what I
yeah,
was gonna
that makes
suggest.
it a
And
lot
I have
easier.
mine set to where it'll notify me every day, like the verse of the day, and I like to
Yeah,
read that and
Cur-
like the videos.
currently I'm doing like the pre-built plans that you can do like every day. So
Oh,
I'm
I
just
didn't know
doing
that
that.
was a thing.
Yeah, so I do that because I don't really know like where to start. I kind of just opened
Mhm.
it up and just started reading. So I thought that would kind of just get me started. The little pre-built, like it's like a 5 day course or plan. You just do it every day. Starts
Oh,
out with
that's
like a
cool.
devotional. Starts out with a devotional, and then it goes into like a verse. So that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
I know I have a Bible somewhere, but I think I have like 6, and I have no idea where any of them are.
Really,
You
I
have
know.
like
I
you have the
remember
little
growing
tiny
up
one.
being handed out the little tiny ones. Yep,
The
I was
little
gonna
tiny
say
ones.
that.
Yes, yes.
I
The only
probably have
Bible
like
that I
6 of
know we
those.
have is a Mormon, the Mormon Bible. We have one because they come door to door around here, and Andrew
Oh,
got roped in, and he got a free Bible out of it. So I know where that one is. That is it.
interesting.
He's
Aren't
read
the,
through it. Actually, I guess
aren't
I
the Mormons the
shouldn't.
one that have
We
like
don't have
6 wives?
Mormons on here.
I
Yes,
don't really know. Is
they
it?
live in
Yeah,
they
I
live in
don't really
Utah, and
like
they
pay
got a lot of
attention.
wives. Yeah,
That's crazy. Don't shake
a
your
lot of
head.
wives, a lot of kids.
I'm just agreeing. It's like I thought I knew that.
But it's not.
Okay.
It's not. It's not God, isn't it? Isn't it like it's like a person?
You guys talk amongst yourself. Let me go find Andrew real quick.
I
Yeah,
have no
ask
idea. I don't
him.
know.
He would
And Andrew
know.
probably knows all about it.
I honestly, I don't know enough about like their
Their
faith.
culture. I have no
Like,
idea.
yeah,
I
the
have no
culture.
idea.
Like, I
No, what? Isn't the Amish like really religious too?
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, absolutely. I've never attended a service of theirs. But I know I have people. My grandma's been to one. Um, yeah, it's really good. They do like a whole. It's like a whole day. It's like
It's a whole day
food and
festivity.
yeah, literally. Well, look at this.
Hey,
I
Ludatron.
hear we're talking about Mormons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
What can you
basically
tell us
just like
about them?
yeah, like what is
Their
it? Like
faith.
who
Well, there's a lot of fun things about the Mormons.
Like, what do they believe in?
It's not actually God or something like that, right? They believe and don't quote me on this. They believe in both Jesus, but they also believe another guy,
yeah, it's a
like a
person,
couple
isn't
hundred
it?
years later, named like John something, John Smith,
Yeah.
if you
Okay.
will, came to America and buried these tablets. That's like the new Bible. So, because he met with Jesus, so Jesus pretty much had a second coming and met this guy in America. They bury these tablets, and then you have the Mormon Bible. So they read the Old Testament, New Testament, and then the Book of Mormon, I think. So they're like, oh, he's basically the same level as Jesus.
Hmm. That's
I
interesting.
could be wrong, but that's what I remember from our junior year Bible class.
That's very
Interesting.
interesting.
Don't they go on like a journey, so to speak?
I
What they call it?
believe once you graduate high school, in order to like enter the true faith of Mormonism, you have to do your journey or whatever that's called, where you go around and share the gospels to people. That's why you always get them knocking on your door wearing the suits,
Oh,
and they have holy underwear once they like graduate from that.
stop. They do not.
They do have holy underwear. Is Tyler? Are you
Okay.
raising your hand, Tyler?
Yeah. Is I just looked it up. Joseph Smith.
Joseph Smith. That's what it is.
I just looked it
Second
up.
coming of Jesus, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
So, I'd put Mormonism on the same level as like Scientology and all those other cults, but a lot of people might disagree. I don't know. So,
Yeah.
Hmm. Cool. Interesting. All right,
Interesting.
thank you.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
All right.
See,
I'll turn
I
it
feel
back over to
like
Drew.
that kind
Bye.
of yeah.
Noah's always wanted
No,
to
I
be in
feel
a
like
cult.
that's
So
kind of
that'd be cool.
why I branched out and I'm not going to like a Catholic church anymore. Because like as I started to grow in my faith, like listen to like what goes on in church and really look into what like Catholics believe. And I didn't always start to agree with it because I just want to live my life solely based off of what the Bible says and like follow just the Bible. And I didn't always feel like the Catholic faith did that. So I feel like that's kind of what brought me to like the church that I'm at now and like the way I'm living my life versus like the way I did it as a Catholic. I don't know.
Did you have to go to mass?
Yeah, we did mass every Thursday, like 9 a.m.
Are you happy to have like
We
twice as short services now? I don't know what the wording is for that. It was twice as short isn't quite right though, but whatever.
like, are they short or
Yeah,
like
I always feel
compared
like
to
everyone talks about Catholic services and everything like just being incredibly long.
Their weddings.
I would say, yeah, the Catholic weddings are really long because you have mass plus the wedding. It's not like just all one. It's like, so it's like a 2 hour long. But no, I feel like church was an hour. Like,
Okay.
church is an hour at Rock City, and then church is an hour at like St. Mary's, which is where I was.
Yeah.
But at Rock City, it's like 25 minutes of worship where you listen to them sing, and then it's like 20 minutes of Mr. Chad talking.
Yeah, Chad's the pastor.
Come on, somebody.
Yeah, and
Well, like,
the style's completely different too.
When I went to St. Mary's with her a couple times, it's like so monotone, slow, just some dude talking up there.
It's very quiet, and I feel like more of like a meditating like type of like.
And then you got
vibe.
sit, kneel, stand,
sit, stand, kneel,
stand, stand, kneel.
But no, I feel like with Rock City, it's definitely you come in and you worship for like 3 songs, and that really kind of gets you in the mood, like to celebrate and talk about Jesus. And then the pastor comes out and he talks and has like a message, and then they have like notes for you to follow along, which is I think is great because it at the bottom it'll have like all the verses that were like from the Bible that everything that they talked about came from. And then you can jot down your own notes or just fill in the blanks. And I think it's like a nice reference to have. I like to hold on to mine and reread them later just to make sure that like I get everything out of it. So I do like that a lot.
Nice.
It's definitely
No, they stream theirs too if you want to watch one of their services.
They do. And they even stream them in prisons and correctional facilities, which I think is really cool. So,
and all across the world.
Is it a big congregation?
For Easter, they had 20 services, 20 different services to fit everybody.
Oh, wow. That's
so it's a lot of, it's in Columbus, so it's definitely pulling from
sense.
All around
And they have
Columbus.
3 locations.
And they have more than 3 locations. Hilliard, Polaris, Short North, and there's another one. I'm just not thinking it. There's another one, I promise. I'm going to look it up.
They're building a new one.
20?
Yeah, they have 20 services.
20
starting
services
Thursday.
Total. So like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, each church had like where each of the
each location
churches.
Okay.
So 20 in total.
Okay.
Yeah. Not like 20 all at the same place.
He's not going to preach the rest of the year.
Have a voice. I know. Could you imagine?
Interesting.
No, the church you grew up in, I assume, very small.
Whitehall.
Oh yeah, dude. Whenever I say the church I grew up in, man, like we're talking max like maybe 20 people. And like we're the songs are like out of an actual like book and you're
Yeah,
like,
they're hymns, they're not songs.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that's
exactly.
what was it. That was what it was at the Catholic Church. Like we had a hymn book that you would read from.
Now at Dad's is different. Like it's a little more modernized. It's they have I guess a band. I guess it's not really a legitimate band, but something of that nature. So yeah, but
I feel like the generational wise too, the different styles. I feel like I enjoy like the music and the worship and the praising like style more, but my parents like the quieter environment. So I think it's all maybe a generational thing too.
yeah.
I might be getting old then, because for our Easter service, we had like a good amount of it was worship to start out, and then like there was a point where like one song was like it was verging on like past the average amount of time we usually do worship for this like into this song, and it just kept going and going. It was going and going, and I'm standing there. I'm like, I just want to sit down. And then like the song ends. I'm like, all right, we're all good. And then they go, all right, next song. I was like, and I started to look around, and you could like see like the genuine like disrest in people. Like, I just want to sit down and have my Easter service. I don't need 6 songs.
That is a lot.
But, yeah, I think it was just for that one day. They just did a lot of songs, but
Okay.
I do think it is more of like a modern church thing now, where almost half the service is pretty much worship now.
Yeah.
It's definitely interesting. Tyler, what do you think about it?
It's pretty neat. I'd rather listen to them like the normal service where they worship for like 15 minutes. But our Easter one, they had a choir out there, and
I thought that
it went on a little bit longer than normal. But I'd rather have that than go to her old church where you sit there and read out of the book.
I will say I like it better when he gets something out of it too, because it's very important that he gets to take away from the message that they have. I mean, anywhere I go, I'll hone in on it, but for his attention span and everything, I want him to get the most out of it. So
Tyler's attention span is not low. Just kidding.
About as high as it gets.
Yeah. There was one sermon that like with like the getting things out of sermons and all that. It was back in sophomore year. I think that was my big post that year, right, Tyler? That scared everybody. Yeah. Sophomore year. And I think it was I think Carly saw it was like something happening on campus, and there was like this guy coming to talk and do like a religious talk on campus one day. And she was like, hey, I was thinking about going to this. Will you go with me? And I was like, yeah, I guess this is what I talked about. So I guess I should follow up on my own faith and go to things. And he did the sermon on like the mustard seed and everything. And I don't think it's the actual sermon itself that I love the idea of the sermon or anything, but I think it was just that like I was looking for more things in my life to give me like a meaning and like, work on myself for certain things. So I think it's almost been like something I latched onto a little bit of like the idea of the mustard seed. And I've talked about it a couple times on certain things, and just like, because like the whole premise is just that like, it's the mustard seed. It's a tiny, tiny, tiny little seed that eventually sprouts into this ginormous thing. And I think just as like a certain kind of lifestyle thing, that's something that I've stuck with a lot, is just that like, it doesn't have to be ginormous, doesn't have to be a huge radical change. It can always just be some little thing that seems completely insignificant, and it might even be insignificant for a year or 2 years, and then eventually all of a sudden it's something that can like just change your life. And I think that's another thing that why I did that like 80 moderate was like, it was all little things on the list. Like it was drinking water, it was reading a book, it was eating healthier. Like those are normal human things that I just wasn't really doing enough or well enough. But there are little things that like eventually grow into that like more refined lifestyle, I guess.
Yeah. What is it like? Takes 2 weeks to form a habit.
Takes two to tango.
No.
I've heard like 6 different ways of people saying like how
I
long
don't
the
know
habit
what it
thing
is.
is to make or break one. So at this
Mhm.
point, I officially don't know. I've been told too many things now.
I
Do
do
you feel
remember
like
every day off that you take, it takes away 3 days of progress.
Mm.
Something like that.
do you feel like since
Mm.
you've stopped doing like your AD moderate, you're still going through similar emotions?
Not really. I took a March took a definite like straight back into everything else kind of thing.
Mhm.
But like I still like me and Noah talked about this recently, and I was like, I still plan on doing it all. Like it's not like I dropped it, or it's not like I'm gonna
Mhm.
continually do it every day and like, oh, I didn't read 10 pages today, like that kind of like I gotta punish, like I gotta do 40 push-ups now or something. Um, but I think it proved to myself, and I liked it a lot, that like I can do those things, and I know for a fact that like those things do help me when I do them. It wasn't like, well, I tried it and it didn't work, because I
Yeah.
think that month was like a really good month for me, just mentally and individually. Um, so yeah, eventually when I get back into those things and try to make them more of a habit, to where it's not just in a challenge. I think it's just why I stopped though, is just because like the
It was a
challenge ended
challenge,
and I was
not
like,
a
cool, I can
lifestyle.
stop. Yeah.
Mhm.
Now I would like to turn that into, I liked it, I can do it. Let's make it a thing.
Mhm. I get that.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
And I think I can start doing what Noah does a little bit, to where like he is reading a book, but also on the side, with trying to read more. Just, open up something in the Bible, find like a plan that suits where I feel like I'm at in my life or with my faith. And then just every once in a while, stop reading the book I'm reading and just go to the Bible and start reading stuff from that.
Yeah.
It's good. It's been good for the mental. Just kind of relax, chill out, and get into the word. So it's been good.
Get
I
into the
still I
word.
I still stress. I still get anxious, all that good stuff.
I
And
mean,
I don't think it's ever gonna go away. Just but
I think it
just
makes you human.
yeah, absolutely. You know, just knowing that someone's there.
Yeah. I
Someone's there.
mean, I'm definitely not perfect, I can tell you that. I still have my bad days. And I feel like nobody's perfect, and you're going to have your days where you're doubting or it's a little bit harder, but I think that's what makes you human. And yeah, because I mean, I think Tyler has days where he probably questions what I'm saying, and there's been days where I'm like, okay, like, what am I doing this all for? But then you regroup and pray about it, and it's worth it.
I think that's another thing I have, is I don't really like, I don't pray often at all, really. Like I used to a lot growing up, and like even through high school probably. And I don't really know when I stopped or if I made a decision to not pray that often, like outside of
Mm-hmm.
church. Um, so I don't know if that's just like another habit thing to just to get back into, or if that's like just a disconnect that I think I might have now, since I've been away from, well, while I was away from church, like in
Mm-hmm.
college and all that time, and it just kind of sticks. So I don't know if you guys have like, because no, you said you've been praying a lot more lately, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's just for me. It's really just honestly, but it's before bed is when I do it. Just kind of relax the mind, and you know, I do it in a quiet space. Just you know, I don't really know going through different methods of how to do it, but it's just kind of like a one-on-one. So
Mm-hmm.
I take
I
it.
think that's
I don't know.
something that Tyler's talked to me about. Is he's like, I don't really know, like with prayer, because it's all new for him. Like where to start, how do you pray, and all this stuff. I'm like, you talk to God. It's like you're talking to me, kind of same thing. You're just talking to God. I don't know.
Yeah. I think I
I'm
get
always
the like the tough side of it, where it's just like you are technically, you're just throwing up words to the air or into your own brain.
mm-hmm.
And I think that's like, because like a lot of the times you'll pray and you won't see a result from it, you know. Or you might pray for something and it might go the complete opposite way of what you were hoping would come from a prayer. Yeah, I think that's definitely the tough part. And then maybe that's back onto like the mustard seed kind of thing. Like it doesn't have to be an immediate thing, but if you're praying for it, you know, it's something that can eventually work. It's maybe not how you thought, but it grows just because, you know, just because you pray doesn't mean, oh yeah, you got that.
Yeah, I agree. I think I had to pray a lot during like nursing school because there were a lot of days where I was ready to quit, and I was like, "Is it even worth it?" And I didn't see actually like myself finishing. I never actually thought I was gonna get the degree. I just was going through the motions, and so like I was praying about that constantly, praying about like our marriage, praying about like our future, and I feel like at some points it felt like I was never going to get there. And then now I look back and I'm like, everything that I prayed for, I have. And so that's like with our house. I'm like with the right timing. So I'm just praying about it. And I feel like it'll all fall into place like in his God's timing. And that's kind of how you have to look at it.
That's how I've looked at it. It's tough. It's tough, but I don't know. For me, honestly, it's been I'll say it. It's been the relationship aspect. Honestly, like just kind of biding my time, I guess you could say. But praying about it, all that good stuff. Just and it'll happen when it'll happen. So it's good.
Yeah. I think it's awesome that you're pursuing it, though.
Yeah. It's a work in progress. Slow grind.
Yeah.
It's good.
And I think just the fact that you have a relationship at all with God is what's important. You don't have to be the most knowledgeable, but it's just, I mean, the ticket into heaven is having a relationship with God.
Oh, someone's gonna pull over.
But I mean, honestly though, like whether you can quote the Bible or not, that's, not what God wants. God wants you to have a relationship with him. So
I like that as the ending, I think.
That's good. Yeah. I mean, it's good. So.
Works for me.
Anything else, Drew?
No. I just wanted to get out here,
Where's Wessel? Bring Wessel in.
Oh boy.
I got him one shirt.
There he is.
He just woke up.
You couldn't hear him snoring?
Oh boy.
What?
I'm glad he's such a quiet
dog. He got a cool
too.
shirt today that says "The Favorite Child."
Man.
You know what? This is Wessel. Isn't he cute?
That's
okay. Now you can go. After Wessel spoke his piece.
He's trying to lay down.
He was sleeping.
Tyler, you want to close this out? Co-host number 2.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to this beautiful night of podcasting. Thank you, wife Natalie, for coming on to our show.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you, Noah, for being Noah, and Drew for being so cute.
Mm-hmm.
And Wessel, being the favorite child.
Yeah, and shout out Josiah.
Shout out Josiah. Bye. Have a good night.
Peace. Chicken grease.
Bye, guys.